Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a break in a deadly convenience store shooting, how an anonymous tipster helped police track down a suspect. Plus, big changes are coming to UHV, and we're just weeks away from the first major reveal. Plus, protests and political debates unfold as President Trump visits a new immigration detention center.
Well, the rain sort of ended for us, but the funny part is the rain's not that far away. We are on the dry side. The wet side is in South Texas. We'll be talking about what happened today and taking at 4th of July coming up in a moment.
And get ready to light up for your 4th of July. The Victoria Gators cheerleaders are firing up more than just their school spirit with their amazing fireworks stand. Find out how this local team is bringing some sparkle to the community.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie. Don Brubaker is on assignment. State troopers are investigating a deadly one-vehicle rollover crash that happened this morning on Highway 59 near Spur 91 just before 7 o'clock. Officials say the car was northbound when it left the roadway for unknown reasons and flipped multiple times. The driver, 24-year-old Emma K. Fryer of Victoria, was ejected from the vehicle and pronounced dead at the scene. Troopers with the Texas Department of Public Safety are still investigating what led to the crash. A Palacios woman is dead and 3 others hurt after a crash Sunday near Highway 35 and FM 1593 in Calhoun County. Troopers say the driver of a Dodge Dakota was speeding in bad weather, lost control, and crossed into oncoming traffic, slamming into a Ford Fusion. A Dodge Ram then hit the Fusion from behind. 45-year-old Adriana Carranza Coronado of Palacios, a passenger in the Dakota, died at the scene. Others in the truck were seriously hurt. Authorities say none of them were wearing a seatbelt. A tip from the public led to the arrest of an El Campo murder suspect. Monday afternoon, police in Brazoria got word Brandon Dwayne Stevens, wanted for a deadly shooting at an El Campo convenience store just a day earlier, was hiding out in town. An anonymous caller gave a precise location and a clothing description. Officers, along with county deputies, moved into the home where Stevens was taken into custody without incident and is now facing a first-degree murder charge. He has been transferred back to El Campo. With the countdown on for the changeover of UHV to the Texas A&M system, a new logo will soon be revealed. Associate Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs for Texas A&M, Dr. Jim Nelson, talked about some of the upcoming events ahead of the official transfer. Nelson says the first major step will be the new logo unveiling on July 17th. Nelson also says engineering and agriculture majors are being considered, which he says will hopefully keep graduates in the local area, benefiting the local economy.
We can really believe we can, begin to attract the regional kids, give them a good solid education with the employment opportunities within the region. We feel that's very, very important. And that's, I think, one of our goals going forward is we want to be a partner with the region. We really want the region to partner with us.
Since the official date of transfer to the A&M system will be on September 1st, the first day of the fall 2025 semester will be September 2nd. Well, some City of Victoria offices will be closed on Friday, July 4th in observance of Independence Day. To view the full list, visit crossroadstoday.com. Well, let's go to Mac Perez for a first look at the forecast. And Mac, the big question is, what is the weather going to look like on the 4th of July? Are those rain showers coming back?
I got you covered on that completely. We're going to be in good shape, and we won't have any rain to dampen our 4th of July fireworks. Now, the irony of it all is today we got nothing, right, in terms of rain. But look, just 100 miles away, it's coming down hard. In fact, it's even raining down in Corpus Christi. Brownsville had flooding. This is all part of what used to be that tropical storm Barry. The leading edge of today's front is actually up here in the hill country. So we're going to get rain in very important places. Watershed is going to hopefully respond to this. And of course, the rivers are needing that rain. So everybody's happy about that. We're happy too, because as we get to the weekend, it's going to be warm and humid, and we've got plenty of that to worry about or to enjoy over the next few days. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a moment. Shawna, back to you.
Vice President J.D. Vance steps in to cast the tie-breaking vote to push through President Trump's massive tax and spending cuts package, which he's been calling his Big Beautiful Bill. After days of tense negotiations and some serious arm twisting to win over Republican holdouts, the Senate finally passed it. The GOP still has to get the bill through the House, where the margin is razor thin. Lawmakers head back to D.C. on Wednesday, and they'll have to approve the Senate's exact version. Republicans are hoping to get it to the president's desk by Friday. The bill unlocks trillions in tax cuts and boosts funding for national security. While a bill that would infuse cash into immigration enforcement gets a step closer to passing, President Trump is showcasing the newest enforcement tool, one that he touts as having alligators standing watch. Brian Abel reports from the White House.
As President Trump's big, beautiful domestic policy bill heads back to the House after narrow passage by the Senate today, the president is getting out of Dodge, temporarily at least. The president is highlighting his immigration enforcement efforts with a visit to the newly built Alligator Alcatraz detention facility in the Florida Everglades. The prison meant to house migrant detainees before deportation. Greeting the president in Florida, protesters, some displeased with the facility's resurrection in an area adjacent to lands belonging to an indigenous tribe. Others disgruntled over potential environmental impacts, while some dissatisfied with what they call inhumane conditions for the people who will be kept there. However, Trump, alongside Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, saying the facility could act as a motivator for self-deportation.
These people come in here, they want to go home, and they want to go home, so we immediately send them home, where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them anywhere. We put them in a maximum security.
They don't have to come here. If they self-deport and go home, they can come back legally. We will let them come back legally.
And there is a lot of self-deportation.
Yes. But if you wait and we bring you to this facility, you don't ever get to come back to America. You don't get the chance to come back and be an American again.
The facility can house about 5,000 people inside. It's estimated to cost about $450 million a year to operate, and the first inmates could be inside as early as Wednesday morning. At the White House, Brian Abel reporting.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, a new law is now in effect across Texas. How one change could impact what you drive off the lot with starting today. Plus, a new turn in the Idaho college murder case. Why families are split on a possible deal, changing the course of the case.
Our military hero of the month is Army Reserve Sergeant Jessica Bellin. You can say that Jessica Bellin is gung-ho, and she's been gung-ho ever since she was a young person.
Well, my freshman year, I went to a regular public high school, and I was in ROTC, in the band, I played bagpipes, and my sophomore year, military school opened up, Sarasota Military Academy in Sarasota, Florida. And so kind of had to beg my parents to be able to go to the military school, and I had a full ride scholarship to Georgia Military Tech. And so you have to be disciplined, you have to get up early, you have to make sure you have all your gear ready for the day, because you're not just going to school, you're also doing drill, you're doing raiders, you're doing bagpipes, fencing, and so you have to make sure that you're prepared and ready for the day. And then you also have your courses with the ROTC that you're doing leadership, so you have to make sure you have all your material ready for the day to teach cadets how to be the best soldiers that they can be for in the future. About 10 years ago, I came to Victoria.
And why?
Well, my mom had gotten sick, and she got surgery. She's all good now. And then just kind of fell in love with the town and stayed. Well, with the reserve unit, I do 1 week in a month. So we'll do Saturday, Sunday, and then we do two weeks in the summer, which is AIT or AT, annual training. And so we'll go to like different states, and then we'll do our process. Depending on what kind of unit you work for, you do your training for that. Reserves just means that you're doing the 1 week in a month, two weeks a year in the summer, compared to actively doing it. But the training process is completely the same as someone who is full active. So if they ever need us, we're right there. We're fully trained just like active duty soldiers. And so we go to basic training together, we go to AIT together. We're all trained the same. With the 288th Quartermaster Unit here in Victoria, Texas, we are a water unit. I'm a 91 Juliet, so I am a quartermaster chemical mechanic, so I fix equipment. But there's other people in my unit that are 92 Whiskeys, and we call them the water dogs. So anytime there is, say, a hurricane or something, and all the systems in Victoria were to shut down, we're able to prepare and create water and transport it to where it needs to go, because we clean the water. So we have drinking water. I joined the military, and I was working at Caterpillar, and I wanted boots on the ground in the community. Like, it was great being, in the Army, but I felt like I wanted to do more in this community. And so I started looking around, and I saw there was a sponsorship program through Victoria Police Department, and I was like, let's go try. Let's live our best life. And so I applied for it, I got sponsorship, and went through the academy, and here we are today. Every once in a while we have a bad situation, but we have a lot of good situations where we deal with the community, and being able to help someone get across the road, or a disabled vehicle, and being able to get them a ride or anything like that. It's nice to be there. I was on the highway when I witnessed the airplane. The airplane was above my head on the highway before it crashed.
The one that landed by the high school?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing the plane crash, I'm on the phone trying to give them information. So I guess that was like the scariest thing, because I could see the 3 vehicles, I could see the plane like break into 2, and getting home means that whatever I'm going to do it with 110% of my heart and soul, because it's something that excites me, it's something I love, it's something I'm passionate about. And so I'm going to give it my all and try to learn everything I can about it.
Tell me about the graveyard. What happens on a graveyard? How do you stay awake through all of that?
Red Bull.
From the Army Reserves to the Victoria Police Department, Jessica Bellin is our Military Hero of the Month. If you know a veteran and you want to tell us their story, let us know. Go to crossroadstoday.com/militaryhero and tell us about them. I'm Clovio Perez, 25 News Now.
Many new state laws have taken effect around the country today. That includes one here in Texas that is meant to crack down on fake paper tags and permits. Now, when you buy a vehicle from a licensed dealer, you'll get real metal plates on the spot, no more temporary paper tags. You'll leave the lot with both front and back plates already on your vehicle. The only thing that you will still be waiting for is a registration sticker. And if you're trading in a car, your plates go with you to your next vehicle. So this brings us to our viewer poll today. Do you feel that Texas's ban on temporary vehicle tags will help reduce car-related crimes, or the crimes related to the paper temporary registrations? Yes, no, or too soon to tell. 59% of you feel that it will help to cut down on these crimes. 28% are saying it's too soon to tell, since this is the first day that it's been implemented. But visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part and let us know your opinion. Yes is up to 60% now. Texas Democrat Colin Allred is again running for the U.S. Senate. Allred lost to Senator Ted Cruz last year by 8.5 points. Allred is the first major Democrat to announce his candidacy for the seat in 2026, which is currently held by John Cornyn. Several others have indicated their interest, including Beto O'Rourke and U.S. Representative Joaquin Castro. A shocking and cruel plea deal. Those are the words from a family member of one of the victims in the Idaho student murders case. The brutal killings of 4 college students have captured national attention for more than 2.5 years. But now the case is set for an abrupt end. Michael Yoshida reports.
Brian Kohberger, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students, will reportedly plead guilty in order to avoid the death penalty.
We'll never see this as justice.
One victim's father outraged at news of the deal.
This isn't what we should be doing. You don't deal with terrorists, and you don't deal with people who kill your kids in their sleep.
Kohberger, a 30-year-old former PhD criminology student at Washington State University, was charged with brutally stabbing and killing 4 students in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho in November of 2022. After a weeks-long manhunt, Kohberger was arrested in his home state of Pennsylvania. DNA evidence, including a knife sheath near a victim's bed, was key, according to prosecutors. But since the arrest, the case has moved slowly, with repeated delays in hearings. Now, a reported plea deal, the latest twist, causing anger for some, but relief for others.
Future dates and future things that we don't want to have to be at, that we shouldn't have to be at, that have to do with this terrible person.
The deal will likely see Kohberger sentenced to life in prison and waive his right to appeal, according to the Idaho Statesman.
Looking at this from the outside, their case seems very strong, didn't really seem to be any good defenses, and therefore you have to wonder, why being so cautious about this.
A hearing in the case is scheduled for Wednesday. I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's 88 degrees, mostly sunny for today, but a little bit of cloud cover rolled in here at the end of the day. We managed to get up to 91, and that is below our average of 93. So you get the idea that July gets pretty hot around here. No rain today, but you're not going to believe it. The rain is 100 miles away. It's coming down hard. We'll be talking about that and what to look forward to on 4th of July coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everyone. Some of you are already planning for the long holiday weekend. What's it going to look like? Well, we'll be talking about that just a moment. Here we are, and you can see how the cloud deck actually came up from the south and it moved into our area just this afternoon. Most of the day was pretty good. But what am I talking about? Look at that. On the other side of Interstate 37, it's been raining heavily all day long. Brownsville is getting flooding right now. Big storms moving up into Kingsville and Corpus Christi, and a band of thunder showers headed northbound, that one right there, already passing Dilley, should be fortunately moving toward the hill country where we need the rain, and this is all good stuff. This is going to be nice rainfall for the Rio Grande and all of the lakes and and rivers out in that area that need all kinds of help. We, of course, I believe the Saharan dust came in and sort of shut all that down for us, but that's all right. Somebody's getting some rain. Here we are right about now, and as I mentioned, down in, well, let's see, that would be the Kingsville area is getting real heavy rain coming up the road. I don't expect it to move into the crossroads. It's sort of going to the northwest right about now. You can see how this band continues moving northwest and up into that area. No rainfall in the crossroads today, but you can see that all the way from West Texas all the way down to Brownsville, they've got the heavy rainfall, probably in the 2 to 4 inch range, as you can see right about there. Well, for us, things are looking pretty good. Now, this is big news. The 4th of July celebration will be at the community center, 3:30 kids zone, 4 o'clock music, and then 9:30 fireworks. And I do believe we're going to have a good night for fireworks with no rain in our area. 30% chance of potential development right here. It's actually a frontal system. That's an old frontal system. But if it develops, it would be going off into the Atlantic. So no major problem as far as we're concerned. On the other side of the world, we've got Flossie. Flossie is a big hurricane right now, already at 110 miles an hour, but that looks to be staying off the coast, and that's good. Originally, we thought it might remnant coming into here to the Sonoran Desert, but it looks like it's going to turn and continue out to sea. For us, what you'll notice in the next 2 days is the Saharan dust. It's sort of going to be all over the place, and I think that's the reason why we sort of shut down the rain chance today, as the dust comes in at the higher levels and just shuts out the moisture. So tomorrow in Port Lavaca, looking partly to mostly cloudy with a high of about 90 degrees. For those of you inland in Cuero, you do have a chance for a couple of isolated showers. We're going to call it generally mostly cloudy, but you'll see a little bit of sun. I think you'll get a lot of work done earlier in the day. So a 20% chance for Wednesday and Thursday. The Saharan dust will become more visible. 4th of July, looking up at a 93 and mostly sunny skies. And then the weekend, well, plenty of sunshine, plenty of warm weather as well, with a high temperature moving up into the mid-90s. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Well, as we've been telling you, Aztec Ford and Goliad is giving away a free generator, a whole house generator that will help you keep your lights on when it matters most in case of a storm. It's quick and easy to enter. All you have to do is go to crossroadstoday.com, click on the menu, hit entertainment, then click on contest. And when you see this graphic, the Storm Ready Power Giveaway, add your name and address and let us know. And we're going to be taking in nominations all the way till July the 10th, because on the 11th, we're actually going to give it away. That's it from weather. We'll toss it back to Shawna.
All right, thank you, Mac. Well, somebody will be cheering because they have a whole house generator. And now we send it over to sports with Ray Robinson, and got some cheerleaders in your sports report.
That's right, Shawna. Next in sports, the Victoria Gator cheerleaders are firing up fireworks before the 4th of July. Hear directly from the team on how their proceeds are making a difference with their fireworks stand. This 4th of July is seeing one of our schools in the Victoria Gators take part in helping give into some of the action. The home school has been running a fireworks warehouse here in Victoria, all proceeds going to their team. Here's a word from a few of the cheerleaders.
we are actually raising money for the Victoria Gator Cheer Squad. This cheer squad is incredible squad. We are raising money so that we are actually able to go to camp and to get all the uniform pieces that we were able to have this year because of our fabulous coaches and our worker behind the scenes.
So there's this big NCAA cheer camp. Last year about 300 girls went. We go for like 4 days a week for 1 week, and we just learn so much, and it helps us out for our football season and all of our girls, and we grow as a team.
All right, and the Victoria Generals are in action at Riverside tonight. They'll be taking on the Seguin River Monsters. After an impressive first half in their Texas Conference as the #1 team, the Generals look to continue their dominance in this game. Last time these teams met, it was Seguin to walk away with the victory. Final score, 19-6. Can the Generals get their win tonight as a part of their strikeout cancer-free ticket night? First pitch is expected to be at 7:05. And the Houston Astros are hitting the road to Denver to kick off their series against the Colorado Rockies. First pitch is set for 7:40 p.m. Mountain Time, and these guys are ready to bring the heat away from home. Quick heads up, Jeremy Pena is still out with a pesky left rib cage fracture. So the Astros will have to shake things up without him, but no worries, they got plenty of talent ready to step up. The Rockies are fired up to defend their turf, but the Astros aren't here to make it easy. Expect some big swings and solid pitching all night long. And the Texas Rangers are gearing up to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Game 2 of their series is today. After dropping the first game with the final score 10-6, the Rangers are currently sitting as 4th in the American League West and are looking to even things out and come back strong. Fans are hoping the team can tighten up their defense and step up their offense as the battle competitive and plan to stay competitive in battle. The game starts at 7:05. And the NBA offseason is heating up, and the Houston Rockets are making some serious waves. After pulling off a blockbuster trade to snag Kevin Durant from Phoenix, the Rockets front office hasn't wasted a second. Just when you thought they might slow down, they dropped the news. Clint Capella is back in Houston, signing a 3-year, $21.5 million contract. He's joining forces with Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams as the team's third big man. And if you remember, Capella was the backbone in the paint for James Harden Rockets from 2014 to 2020 before heading off to Atlanta in a trade. Now that he's back on the squad that's hungry for a championship run, the Rockets aren't just building a team, they are building a title contender and making the NBA a better place. And that wasn't the only big free agency move the Rockets made yesterday. They added even more firepower to their already stacked wing position by signing Dorian Finney-Smith from the Los Angeles Lakers, a 4-year, $53 million deal. Finney-Smith averaged 8.7 points last year and shot 39% from 3 for the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's safe to say that there's a real chance we might, this time next year, we could be partying in Houston for a championship parade. But that does it for your sports. Shawna?
All right, keep our fingers crossed. We're back in a moment. An NBA legend's former home is now a vacation rental. What you'll find inside the estate and what it'll cost you. The mansion, once owned by Chicago Bulls legend Michael Jordan, is now available on the rental website Airbnb. The 7.39-acre estate, known as Champions Point, can accommodate up to 12 guests. It has 7 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms. Not sure why you need that many, but full-size regulation basketball court, championship-level putting green, tennis court, fitness center, and more. Now, the price tag for the minimum 7-night stay, over $112,000. Pretty nice crib to rent for a week.
Yeah, I think, enough people around here, we can probably pitch in, 12 of us and go rent it out.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
With that rental, you could buy a house here.
True.
Almost.
Do 25 News, do a whole show there.
Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.